people are feeling incredibly stressed right now. I mean, there's so much uncertainty, volatility, and complexity that their mental wellness is at stake. And when wellness is at stake, the business ends up being on shakier ground too. This course is designed to optimize mental wellness and to help people systematically leverage their psychological growth for business success. It hits all the important spots. In any organization, people are your greatest resource. This course is all about taking care of your people. After all, businesses are made up of people, and people have brains. So for businesses to succeed, people have to succeed. And to do this, it helps to know how to use your brain more effectively.
Welcome to the Harvard Health Minute. I'm Dr. Terry Schrader. Today we're going to talk about motivation, maybe the most important aspect of a healthy lifestyle.
So one of the things we know is that stress actually perpetuates habit pathways in the brain. And when you become stressed, the first thing that your brain does is it puts you back into what I call habit hell. And so if you don't address the stress, you're actually not going to be able to make any of the changes that you need to make in order to move forward.
The other is called top-down anxiety. This is the kind of fear that builds up gradually, and it occurs quite commonly. An example would be getting a terse email from your boss that gradually makes you fear you're on the verge of being fired. Or you may experience a series of rejections in your personal life that eventually make you anxious and feel as though you have little value. Top-down anxiety is common in many contexts, like constant changes at work that eventually add up and at some point become one too many. Different strategies work for different kinds of overwhelm. Chunking, for example, is a way of breaking down a task into smaller pieces so that it doesn't overwhelm you. And chunking is the strategy of choice for top-down overwhelm. Let's say your boss sends you an email asking you to write a report. Your anxious brain might be overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task. So break it up or chunk it into sections that you can complete on different days. In the case of a terse email from your boss that has your head spinning, thinking you might get fired, ask yourself, what can I do today to prevent this from happening? Chunking does not work for bottom-up anxiety. In fact, if you try to chunk when you have this kind of sudden and instinctual anxiety, it could make things worse. In this situation, mindfulness, simply putting your attention on your breath and ignoring your mental chatter, is a far better option. So remember, when you're anxious, first determine if it's top-down or bottom-up anxiety. If it's top-down, try chunking right away. It will free up memory space and decrease that feeling of being overwhelmed that's so common in an anxious brain. When your confidence is shaken, you may think you'll just have to wait to feel better. But there are ways you can target your brain to improve your confidence immediately. Let's go over 3 ways you can change your brain when you lack confidence so that you feel more empowered at work. The first way is based on a theory of a Harvard psychologist named Daniel Wegner. He found that when you're under stress, telling yourself not to do something will make your brain do exactly the opposite. Like if you tell yourself, I will not snack on the office candy, then that's exactly what you will end up doing. That's because your brain doesn't have the resources to manage your stress, move you forward, and prevent you from doing something all at the same time. It's as if it doesn't hear the word not. So you have to frame your goal without using the words do not. That is, frame it positively. For example, rather than saying, I will not snack on the candy, say, I will eat healthy snacks. I once worked with a coaching client named Jennifer. Jennifer was the CEO of an advertising agency, and a few members on her board really annoyed her. Before board meetings, she would tell herself repeatedly, do not lose your temper. But when she was at the meeting, she would fly into a rage. So I told Jennifer about the brain's deafness to the word not. I asked her instead to tell herself, be calm. When she switched this up, it worked.